everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I've got something a little bit different. I am doing a sort of review of Lovevery toys, but I'm coming at it at a slightly different angle. So obviously if you're interested in this kit, you're interested in Lovevery for your neurotypical child, great, keep watching because this will still be relevant to you. However, I am actually reviewing this from the perspective of a special needs mum. So my eldest son has a significant developmental delay. He also has low muscle tone and really struggles with things like fine motor skills. For him, doing a puzzle is really, it's like running up a hill for us. It's like so exhausting. So I have spent the last 5 years really trying to give my son toys and activities that are really going to stimulate his brain, interest him, keep his attention, and this can be a real challenge. If you are also a mum with a kid with extra needs, maybe a learning disability or something along the lines, you know it becomes quite complicated, and it's not necessarily a neurotypical kind of toy for a child is going to work for your child, and you do have to really think outside the box. So when I came across Lovevery, and I contacted them, they didn't contact me, I contacted them because I just knew this was going to be an epic fit for me and my child. But basically they have these subscription boxes that come every sort of 2 to 3 months depending on your child's age, and they are so clever. They've worked with loads of specialists to create beautiful toys, and these are using sustainable wood, sustainable plastics, a Montessori kind of and Waldorf sort of ethos behind it. But they work with all these specialists to create toys that are really working with your child's developmental stage to really help your child build all those cognitive connections, build the muscles, and then in 3 months you get a new box and your child can work on the next stage up. And the toys are really fun and engaging, and I've always just loved these boxes. When I heard that they were available in Europe and the UK, I was very excited, and I knew I was going to become a subscriber and sign up because I knew these toys were going to work so well for my eldest son. Now my youngest son is 3, so he's kind of like just out of the age bracket, but he still loves these toys. I just want to say that he adores them. They're still very fun for him. But really I got these for Rupert, my eldest, because I knew these would be a great help to me as a mum. So today I'm going to be looking at the Babbler kit. Now this kit is actually for children aged 13, 14 and 15 months old according to this guide. Now if you've got a child that's not neurotypical in that way, what I would suggest is that you just pick a box which looks kind of where your child's at. So for example, maybe your child is really into insect puzzles, or at school they're doing a lot of insect puzzles. Maybe they've moved beyond that and they're doing more like basic jigsaws. Just kind of like figure out what your child's good at and what their strengths and weaknesses are, and you could find a box that will work with them. I knew that my son is doing insect puzzles at the moment and really loves those because he's got the low muscle tone and he has to really work his muscles to hold on to that. And I kind of felt like this box was a tiny step down actually from where he was, but I knew that was going to be good for my son because his attention span is very low when it comes to these kind of toys, and I wanted to give him a lot of positive sort of feel factor when he got things done, as opposed to throwing him more in the deeper end with a slightly older box. So first of all, I do need to just completely change tact here and give you a little, is disclaimer the right word, or warning? My husband is a farmer and he is mucking at the barn, and as a result flies have come into my house and I can see them buzzing around. So if you see something going across the screen, it is a fly, and I'm sorry, there is nothing I can do about it. I married a farmer, so apologies. But anyway, I'm really excited in this video to show you some of these toys, how I've been using them with my son, and perhaps it will give you some inspiration. And I will also link Lovevery below. I have got little affiliate links, I'll link that below if you want to check them out. I can truly say my experience with them has been amazing, and it's been so useful for me being able to find boxes which have a developmental range and kind of increase, because then I can do that with my son and we can increase his skill base up slowly and build up those muscles in a way where it's all done for you, which is so handy and useful. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing that you'll find in your box is a lovely play guide. Now this play guide is actually very useful because it goes through some of the things you might expect to see your child doing and learning at that age group, but again, you know, that developmental range really. And then it goes through all the different toys and why they've included them in the box and different ways to introduce them and play with them. And then there's also another section at the back with more activities where they show you some other ideas for this developmental range. The book is really cute actually, it's really nice and thick, so it should last a good time. So it's a nice thing to have in your toolkit as a mum. You can pull it out and get some ideas, or if you're struggling with one of the toys, this will hopefully give you some ideas on how to introduce it in an exciting way. So the first thing that comes in this box is a little book. This is called Bedtime for Zoe, and because Lovevery are very Montessori inspired, these are photographs, so obviously very realistic, and shows you exactly this routine of this little girl called Zoe as she gets ready for bed. Things like brushing teeth, putting on pajamas, having her bath, all that kind of thing. Now, the reason this book is included, according to this guide, is that children crave routines, and there are many benefits to a routine. It helps establish emotional security, eases the challenge of transitioning from one activity to another. Routines will also help your toddler's brain grow into high-level thinking, such as understanding, sequencing, and passage of time. So I think that's so interesting, like that's actually why this book is included. So that's really, really good to know. My son really depends on routines, and he does struggle with transitions. So he has really enjoyed this book. I knew he would. He loves pictures, he loves stories, and he's got a really good attention span for sitting on my knee, and I can read story after story to him and he absorbs it up and loves it. So he's been loving this, really, really enjoying it. And yeah, it's very a very good book actually, and my younger son loves it too. So it has a good age range actually. A lot of kids would enjoy that story. So moving on to the toys, let's start with this Slide and Seek Ball Run. Now this is a beautiful Montessori toy. It's so well made, it's really heavy duty, and it has two balls. I'm going to take them out because they're quite noisy. They both have a slightly different tone, and they've got by colour. And then this is the ball run. So it comes with these 4 little doors. So there's one where you can push your hand through. This is a lifting up door. We've got a little knobbed door, a door with a sort of loop, and then we have this really chunky plastic slide, and then a hole at the top to place the ball. And what the child does is they get the ball, they place it in, push it, and then it disappears. And then they have to find it again by pushing their hands through the different doors, pulling it out, and then they can repeat it. Now, according to the booklet, the reason for including this is that your child is still learning that objects exist even when they are out of sight for a little while. Here, balls are pushed through the top, roll down the spiral, and disappear into a wooden box where, surprise, they can be found and retrieved. This concept is called object permanence. Now, we have had a couple of object permanence and cause and effect kind of toys, and they've always been quite popular. This has definitely been the most popular of all those kind of toys we've ever had. It's incredibly satisfying for both my kids to place the ball in. It's very easy to achieve that. You know, it's quite easy to get it into that hole, and then to press it, and then it goes all the way down, and they really enjoy exploring all the different doors. This is a nice little one for learning some fine motor skills as well, using your hands in different ways, using the different door handles. It is a great fun little toy. The ease level for my son is quite easy. I mean, this is not a challenge for him to do this in any way whatsoever, but he gets so much joy out of doing this. And as a child that doesn't love toys massively, this has given him a lot of positive. My camera just died there, so I'm not quite sure where I got to, but basically I was saying this is a great toy. I think only hanging on to this and keeping it in case we have another kid, or gifting it because it's so cute. I love it. Moving on to the next toy, this is the Bunnies in a felt burrow. So this lovely little aqua wool felted handled little bag. This is the burrow, and inside are these sweet little organic cotton bunny rabbits. Little tails, and so cute. Like, I love these so much. And the idea is that the child puts their hand in and pulls them out. They can count them, and then they pop them back into the burrow, and they have to kind of use 2 hands as well, one to hold and one to pull. So according to the guidebook, this says that toddlers love putting objects inside containers, and by 14 months your child may begin to do this without also removing the objects along the way. Carrying the container around with them, they're also experimenting with bilateral coordination using both hands at once. So the bilateral coordination is really interesting. So it's something that you can sort of look up and understand how to do that more with kids. But definitely for Rupert, trying to get him to hold with one hand and pull with the other has actually been surprisingly challenging. He kind of wants to just put it there and just, you know, reach in and do it like that. But I have been trying to encourage him to use both his hands. It's a really nice, quick little toy this. You can play with it quickly. He keeps his intention really easily, and yeah, it's cute. It's nice just to carry this around and have your little toy bunnies in. Super sweet, nice, easy toy. And you've also got loads of magic to play with these. My youngest actually loves putting these bunnies down this chute, like they're on a slide, and then leaving them in here and then taking them out and repeating. So he's definitely done lots of play with these little bunnies. So a really sweet toy that I can imagine both my kids enjoying for quite a while actually, just because of the imaginative side of it. But yeah, sweet little thing, really fun to learn, and also so interesting to learn about bilateral coordination and then seeing if my son can do that and how to encourage that in different ways. Next up is a puzzle. So Lovevery are so clever. They've got a whole range of puzzles, and this is the first one in the series. Oops. And then the puzzles gradually get harder and harder and use different sort of skills, I guess. So this one is called the Circle of Friends puzzle, and it says here in the guidebook, puzzles are great for developing spatial skills. A circle is the easiest shape for your child to match because it has no corners. Starting out with a simple two-dimensional object like a flat circle helps build awareness of how shapes fit together, a foundation for more complex three-dimensional puzzles later. So when I got this, I thought my son would be able to do this really easily, but actually it seems to be quite a good level for him. So obviously we've got these really chunky little handles to each puzzle piece, which makes it really easy for children with not great fine motor skills to grab onto. And you can take them all off, they're lovely colours. And then you've got these cute little kids, lovely smiling faces. And then the idea is you place the right one on top. And obviously if you get it into the wrong one, it's not going to fit, you know, and then you have to get it into the right one. So a lovely, easy puzzle. Lots to see with this as well. And like I said before, my son loves pictures and visuals, so this actually had a really high reward factor for him because he could take the pieces off and he would get a lovely face to look at, and then when he wants to put in another one, he can sort of hide it, and he just really enjoyed that. So this puzzle was surprisingly successful with him because puzzles he does get quite bored with quite easily. So this one wasn't too difficult for him to do, but he definitely spent a bit of time kind of like figuring out, oh wait a minute, that's too small, that's the right size, and yeah, it was a little bit more of a challenge than I thought it would be. So quite an interesting one that he actually is wanting to do, which is interesting as well. So whatever it is about this puzzle, he really likes it, which is great for me. He also, like I said, he can do this quite easily, so it gives him a real sense of gratification when he gets to complete this all on his own without mummy helping him. And now I do think now, because he's a little bit older, he likes being a bit more independent. So for him, having a toy that's simpler, that he can do himself, makes him feel really good with himself and gives him that kind of confidence to try more things. So I'm really liking this. This has been a surprise hit. So this toy is the flexible wooden stacker. And according to the guidebook, this helps your child learn fine motor skills and spatial relationships and parts of a whole. Now, this actually was probably the easiest thing for Rupert to do, and I thought this was going to be the hardest thing because it has all these gorgeous coloured hoops, spaces around the outside so you can actually use it as a puzzle. But it has this really bendy pole, it's attached by elastic, and the idea is that you have to hold on to this pole and then put your hoop on top, so that bilateral coordination that we're talking about. And if they don't, what happens is you might knock it and then it becomes really hard to get it on. So it's actually really good fun. Now, Rupert actually finds that not too difficult to stack the rings on top. Occasionally he will knock this bit a little bit and then he sort of has to work a bit harder to get it on top. But overall, again, this was not too difficult for him to do. Lots of positive feedback for him, knowing that he can get them on and then he can take them all off and throw them everywhere. Now, another thing that's nice about this toy is it comes with quite a few of these coloured rings. So you can sort them by colour, get the 2 blue aqua ones or the 2 orange ones, or you can use those in your play kitchen and have them as food or cereal or something. So they do have an extended play value, which is fantastic as well. Really cute little stacker, and with that extra challenge of the moving side as well, just makes children have to work a little bit harder and it keeps their attention. So this has been a great success. The next toy is this fantastic wooden coin box. Now this toy I knew was going to be epic, and it is. So it's a very classic Montessori toy, these wooden posting boxes. And we have actually had one of these before, but the problem was with the lids were interchangeable, which I wanted, but the lids came off so easily that my children would just take the lid off and put the coins straight in. So it completely defeated the whole point of having the posting box. This, however, has this really good sturdy grip. So you put the lid on, it fits on, and really only an adult or an older kid is going to be able to get that off. Underneath you have a base that comes off magnetically, and it means you can get the counters out really easily, and a younger child could do that, and your toddler could do that. So the idea with this is it comes with these lovely chunky wooden coins. They're nice and big, and your child has to aim them into the hole. They might have to rotate their wrist and just get it in just the right way. So this is really, really good for fine motor skills. It's definitely a toy that Rupert benefits from massively. He can do it. Again, this gives him a really satisfying feeling getting all those coins in. It keeps his attention span going, and it's building up just the right kind of level of the fine motor skills that he needs to work with and does in OT and things like that. Now, once you're done with this lid, there we are, another 2 lids to use. The next one is this one for the carrots. So it fits on top, and there's 5 sweet little rubber orange carrots, and they have to figure out which way they go in, place them in, and then they can push them in and they disappear. This is by far Rupert's favourite activity from this box. He is obsessed with getting these carrots in and putting them in. He doesn't find it too difficult, and actually the first few times we did this, he always got it in the right way. But when he's distracted, he puts them in the wrong way, and then he has to kind of like figure out how to push them in a bit differently. But yeah, it definitely captures his imagination, and he loves it. And I think it's just all the role playing of eating the carrots. Both my sons have really enjoyed doing that. Then finally, there's this smaller lid. Now this one's designed for smaller objects like Q-tips, and this is really good challenge for Rupert. He's quite good at doing this, but he does obviously needs watching because there's Q-tips involved. But this is a great one to place on, and then together we work at getting all those Q-tips into the holes. Sometimes this can start to make him feel a bit frustrated, but together we've been working on this one, and it is so good. This toy alone, I'm just absolutely in love with. The quality is beyond anything I have seen. It is so well designed, and it actually works. You can buy cheap dupes of this, but just be wary that the lids will fit on as well. I just don't think they probably would. I haven't found anything that's actually so well designed that you can actually leave your child with, let's say, the carrot one or the coin one, and they will not pull off the lid and then just dump everything inside. They will actually have to put the coins in. And then having the base that removes means they get the satisfaction of emptying it out and doing it again without you having to help them. So an absolutely brilliant toy, and has been so useful for my son, and just met him where he needs to be, and yeah, it's fantastic. So according to the book, it says, manipulating coins is a fine motor and problem solving activity. Your child will have to work hard to pick up each coin, turn it in the proper position, and drop it into the slot. This 3-dimensional puzzle may be a bit challenging at first, but over time they'll learn that rotating an object's direction can change how it fits into another object. So yeah, really clever. There's also, again, lots of potential here for counting. We've got 5 lovely wooden counters, 5 carrots, and we also have those cute little bunnies in a burrow. So there's potential here to do lots of activities with the bunnies and the carrots, and counting, some simple maths for older, slightly older children. And then you could even post the carrots in here as well, and your bunnies. So there's like so much that you can do. Really cleverly organized and created, this toy. I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. So I think that is all the toys that come in this box. Let me just double check. There's a big sheet here that tells you. Yes, so that was all the toys in the Babbler. as you can see, I mean, that is a substantial amount of toys, especially the fact that this can be changed over so many times. And there's the potential to play in lots of different ways, like with the bunnies and the imaginative play with their slide and eating their little carrots. And then with the stacker, you can use those rings in different ways. You can stack them separately to the ring. You can count them. You can do colour games. Really, really clever. Another idea for the puzzle, actually, if your child's really enjoying this, you could cut out circles of family members or things that they're interested in and place them inside as well to bring it to another sort of new level or to freshen it up. But overall, I am so impressed with this toy, these toys. I think they're fantastic. And I think if you are struggling to find the correct toys for your child, especially, you know, this is themed around kids with learning disabilities, give these boxes a go. This is the Babbler. I think this is great for a child that's got sort of basic abilities with their fine and gross motor skills, and they also want good encouragement. And this box, I think, has in particular a really good sense of positive feedback. So satisfying doing this game. So satisfying posting things and posting the carrots. So fun doing the bunnies. The stacker's great fun. The puzzle's brilliant. And even me as a grown woman, I enjoyed all these toys. These were so well thought through, so beautiful. I just cannot give it a big enough thumbs up. Well done, Lovevery. I mean, I am so impressed. I really do think these toys are fantastic. And as a mum with a kid with disabilities, these are an absolute lifesaver. I wish I had been able to access these earlier, because they would have really changed my life and made my life so much easier and saved myself so much money. I've spent so much money trying to replicate these kind of things for my son, and you know, sometimes getting puzzles that are too complicated or too basic, or things that just don't work properly. Well, these are all so well designed, so well thought through, and you're getting that bundle that's just developmentally correct, and they can try out different techniques and toys. It's so good. So we will be trying the next box from this stage, and I am really excited to see how he goes as we give him slightly more harder and harder boxes. I will include some clips of him using some of these items, just a couple of clips, just so you can see them in action. But overall, yeah, absolutely amazing. Before I finished up this video, I would talk a little bit about the other box, which is called the Helper. So I have the Helper here. Now, the Helper is for a completely different age bracket. This is 25, 26, and 27 months. So basically, as your child turns 2. And this box, there's a super sustainable sink with a pump so it keeps running water, some routine cards, a drop and match dot catcher, a double-sided sunny day puzzle, an anywhere art kit, and felt flowers in a row. And I'm going to quickly show you these and just tell you how my son interacted with these as well. Now, obviously, my 3-year-old, I'm laughing because my 3-year-old staring at me like, what are you doing? But my 3-year-old loves all these toys and can do them and thinks they're brilliant fun. But my older son, yeah, obviously he's interacting with them in a slightly different way. So first of all, there's paint sticks. I mean, paint sticks are so satisfying for kids. You can see there's some paper in this pouch here. My son's been scribbling away, and they are great. There's colour matching here, potentially as a game. And the paint markers or paint sticks are so good colour. They're mess free. They're great to take around with you. Beautiful toy. Great for all abilities. There's a little bunch of felt wool flowers that are great for counting, role playing, and they also come with this little wooden brick. And what you do is you can post them in like this. Now, my son with learning difficulties, he can do that, but he does get a little bit bored after doing 3, but he did quite enjoy that. While my younger son has been having so much fun playing with that, he adores it. Then we have this really tricky double-sided puzzle. So there's these wooden pieces, and there's like a sunny day with a house, and then there's a fish and boat. This is really quite complicated. Like, it even took me a few moments to figure this out, but both my sons can actually do this, which might surprise you when you see the basic toys from the first box. But yes, my elder son can actually do this with a little bit of help. But they both enjoy it. My elder son does struggle to want to complete this, while with the Circle of Friends puzzle, he enjoys doing it. So that's the kind of difference with that puzzle. Then there's this board here, and it comes with a big pouch of wooden counters, and you can sort them by colour. My youngest loves this. Rupert can do this, but again, the difference is with this box, I have to be sitting there encouraging him and giving him rewards in order to get him to finish the task. He finds it a little bit harder. His attention span isn't quite there for this toy. So it is quite interesting to see the comparison, while with something from the Babbler box, he will do it independently. So just kind of an interesting thing that I noticed. There's another lovely book. This has been a hit with both my sons. This is called Making Muffins. It contains basic counting. Each one has a flap. Great one for teaching counting, so Toby in particular is really into that one. And then there's also some routine cards, which I thought was a really nice idea because kids do love to know what's coming next. We do a lot of now and then, so we're like, now we're going to have lunch, then we will go water the polytunnels. So these little cards are really robust, and they have little images of kids doing things like packing a bag, nappy time, brush teeth, there's a potty one, there's brushing hair. So nice one if you want to start doing routine cards with your children. Great as well with kids with autism or anything like that, because they really do love routines, and these kind of cards can really help them. And finally, the best toy of all is, I need to go grab this. This has been in serious use since it arrived. Is the Super Sustainable Sink. Now this is made using quite a high percentage of plant-based, I think plastic made from sugarcane, I think. So it is actually quite sustainable, which is great. It contains a pump, so you turn the handle. This is full of water. Oh, here we go. You turn the tap, water comes out, you turn it off and it stops. It's battery operated, it runs for quite a long time before having to change the batteries, and it comes with this little draining board, cups and plates. Both my children are obsessed with this. They play with this for hours, just scooping up the water, pouring it out, you know, playing games. Both my children love this. This is such a great toy for multiple ages. And it's so clever the way it just runs the water around and around in the circuit. Yeah, it's fantastic. My youngest son has been using this like as much as he possibly can, and my oldest son also is obsessed with this and will independently play with this for ages. Such a great toy. I mean, in all honesty, if nothing else, it was in the helper box except for this, I would still have been happy because this toy has been so good. So I'll just put that back in there. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video here because I have actually tried, I can't even talk anymore, I have actually tried to record this about 10 times and I've been disturbed so many times I've had to keep recording, but I have got there. Now, the best thing for me to say is if you've got any questions, leave them below, because this topic is so huge. I mean, every kid is so different, and I'm sure some of you will have questions, so leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said before, I can only really speak from experience, and you know, the experience of my child and his extra needs. These boxes have been so incredible. I highly recommend, you know, if you are interested, starting out at one that really meets where they're at, or if anything, maybe even slightly easier, and sort of building them up, as opposed to getting something which is too challenging. Because like I showed you with this puzzle, while this puzzle was really good for my younger son who is 3, for Rupert, this is just going to not necessarily encourage him to do more puzzles. He's much better with a simpler puzzle like this, or the inset puzzle in the next box, the Pioneer box, to really encourage him and to give him the independence and get him to get some reward from doing the puzzles. But each child is so different. But yeah, personally, that's just kind of what I garnered from my experience with these 2 boxes. So yeah, I hope this has given you some inspiration. Like I say, any questions, leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them, and I will link everything below. And yeah, I'm going to be back soon with some lovely autumn books. I've already ordered all my autumn and Christmas books, I'm not going to lie, even though we're in August as I'm filming this. But yeah, I'm just so excited for autumn and Halloween and getting all cozy and making lovely cups of tea and hot chocolate. So yeah, I'm really excited. If you haven't already checked out my podcast, please do. I have tons of great episodes on living seasonal, cozy lives, loads of inspiration, loads of ideas on how to use herbs and gardening and all sorts of lovely things. So I'll link that below. It's called Nature and Nourish. And yeah, I think I'm done recording. I'm gonna catch my breath and get a cup of tea and yeah, move on with the rest of the day. It's 4 o'clock now, so lots to do, busy time of the day for me as a mum. I've got my 3-year-old crawling under the table, but yeah, I hope this series is interesting, and I really do hope it's helped some of you out there. No, you're not alone. There are so many parents out there with kids with extra needs, autism, so many different things, and you know, it is really difficult. It is, it's hard, it's blinking hard, and just know that you are not alone. And yeah, definitely if I had to give any advice to someone, it would be, first of all, ring up like your local citizens advice place and ask them, how can I get support? Because you'll be surprised, there's a lot out there actually. You just need to ask for it. It will not come to you, you have to ask for it. And also things like this, these are great resources, use them. I mean, these boxes are fantastic, and that's why I'm reviewing them, because I feel genuinely really passionate about this as a product, and this is a product that will help kids and certain developmental delays. And yeah, just yeah, reach out to people, ask them what they did. I know that for me on Instagram, I came across a couple of people with kids with autism and special needs, and they changed my life with the advice they gave me. So don't be afraid to reach out, because a lot of people really want to share their knowledge and help in any way they can. So yeah, I'm gonna go now, because I could talk about this topic forever, because it's not, like I said, it's not something I've talked about on here much, but it is a big part of my life. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go, because I'm just gonna babble on about the Babbler. I will see you soon. Bye.